Hi everybody, thanks for joining us here online and on News Center Maine Plus. I'm meteorologist Ryan Breton. We have a lot of weather ahead in the next 48 or so hours, beginning tonight with some light snow, which will accumulate a few inches, especially in parts of southern and western Maine. There won't be much falling on Tuesday. A lot of the time it may just look dry, but we'll likely have some areas of drizzle and mist, and temperatures during the day will be below freezing. So there could be some icy areas that develop even during the day on Tuesday in spots that aren't treated. Then the biggest aspect of this weather impact comes with a more formidable storm on Wednesday. May begin the day with some areas of freezing rain inland, and then a southerly wind will kick up, sending our temperatures by Wednesday night into the 50s, and that will be accompanied with heavy rain and strong gusty winds that have the potential to create flash flooding and power outages during the height of this Wednesday night. So we'll break it all down, but first we'll start outside tonight. Light snow will be moving in, but by morning this is pretty much done. We'll just be down to some freezing drizzle in spots, but there will be slippery areas for the morning commute, and the plows will have to come out in a lot of central and western Maine in particular. And all day tomorrow, temperatures stay below freezing, which is why untreated areas may continue to be slippery. So this is the radar as of Monday evening. The snow moving into southern and central Maine. This continues to overspread the state overnight tonight. So we'll show you the hour-by-hour timeline. This is 9 p.m. Snow getting into the Bangor area, steady snow in a lot of central and southern Maine. There will be some mixing with rain from York to Kittery over to the seacoast of New Hampshire, so not as much snow expected there, but pretty good accumulation for a few hours tonight in many spots. Once we get past about 1 or 2 in the morning, a lot of the snow shuts off over central and southern Maine. It'll take a little while longer for that to happen in eastern Maine. But by 6 a.m., steady precipitation pretty much over. The problem, though, the temperatures, which will be below freezing. So if there is some mist and drizzle that's falling, that will freeze on top of what's already out there. So snowfall accumulation is pretty straightforward. Generally 1 to 3 inches tonight in central and eastern Maine. A bit more in the foothills, mountains, parts of western Maine, where there may be some places that get up to 3 to 5 inches of snow. Now, as far as the ice goes, this is not an ice storm in the classic sense, but there will be some low-level moisture that falls into that cold air, so there will be some ice that glazes on any untreated surfaces. Usually you need about a ½ inch to get into the power outage range, so overall this is a minimal power outage risk from any freezing rain, but it will mean any untreated areas are slippery into Wednesday morning, especially across the interior. So one thing to be aware of, sidewalks, your parking lots, things like that will have to be treated probably a couple of times. So this is the map. Again, 6 o'clock Tuesday morning. Not much out there, but there will be some low-level freezing drizzle in areas of mist with temperatures below freezing just about all day on Tuesday. The cold will be really stubborn and tough to move out. Then as steadier precipitation starts coming in Tuesday night, we may have another round of some freezing drizzle or light freezing rain. So by the time most people head out to work and school on Wednesday, temperatures begin rising, but they may still be near or below freezing inland. So there might be some icy spots for the Wednesday morning commute, especially in the foothills and mountains, while at the coastline we should be warming above freezing by 6 or 7 in the morning on Wednesday. Now during the day, that cold air gradually gets scoured out as the wind kicks up out of the south. We'll have periods of rain on Wednesday, and the heaviest of this rain likely comes in Wednesday evening and Wednesday night with a cold front. Out ahead of that front, look at the temperatures. We'll probably warm into the 50s in many spots Wednesday night. The high temperature for the day probably happens in the evening hours. And this, as it all comes through, will be capable of producing damaging wind gusts that could cause a significant number of outages if everything comes together. And the worst of this is probably between about 8 p.m. and midnight Wednesday night. It's very quick moving, so by Thursday morning it's out of here, but it does look rough for a few hours Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. This is a look at the future wind gusts. Again, there isn't much wind Wednesday morning, and that's why it'll be cold inland for a while with possibly some icy spots. But once we get the wind going, we'll be able to warm things up from south to north. Even in the afternoon, it's a little gusty at the coastline, but it's really as that front comes in Wednesday night that we'll have a few hours of strong and potentially damaging winds. The question is, to what level do we get the wind gusts? We think 50 miles an hour is a pretty good bet, but it's possible there are some gusts over 60 miles per hour as this comes through. That would determine whether it is scattered outages or widespread. It's not a big window of time where we'll have these gusty winds, but the power of 60, 65 mile an hour gusts, even for a short time, can cause a lot of outages, as we've seen. Then as we get past midnight, the strongest winds move into eastern Maine, and by Thursday morning, the winds have changed direction. The temperatures will be dropping, but the outage risk will be over by that point. So it's a few hours Wednesday night that we could have damaging wind gusts that cause power outages. Another aspect of the storm will be the water, which falls Wednesday, especially Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. And that's coming with very warm air too. So a lot of people have concerns after last December's storms, which caused catastrophic flooding when you combine snowmelt with heavy rain. This time it's a little different in that the window of time with temperatures above freezing won't be as long. So we've been going back and forth with the National Weather Service, and they don't think this will be on that level of last winter, but the flood risk is elevated. We may have flash flooding from ice jams on rivers and streams, and the combination of the heavy rain with some melting snow. But the thinking is that the snowpack won't be obliterated in the mountains, unlike the storm that we had middle of last December. Either way, the message here is Wednesday evening, Wednesday night is probably the worst of this round, and the concerns will be flash flooding and power outages as that comes through. So take a look at the 7-day forecast. Tonight we'll have snow. You'll wake up to snow on the ground Tuesday morning, but not much falling during the day. Temperatures, though, below freezing may mean there are icy spots that linger. Steady precipitation comes back in Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. It may start off Wednesday morning icy, particularly inland, but then the temperatures will be rising through the day with the worst rain and wind coming in Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. And it really is that 8 p.m. to midnight time frame where we could have damaging wind gusts capable of causing power outages. So that is the latest as of Monday evening. We will have you updated on the air and online all through the storm, so stay with us here at News Center Maine.